Hey, it's your boy, Sergeant Hooked on Henshin's. So today we're talking about Avataro Sentai DonBrothers, episode 19. Um, on top of the show already making it into like my top favorite Sentai of all time, it also is one of the absolute genuinely funniest and most chaotic Sentai. And it's saying a lot. Like I've watched a lot of Sentai and a lot of crazy Sentais with a lot of really crazy things happening. Um, but this show is just it's so good. So, main plot this week has the group at first, when we first start up the plot here, the episode begins. Um, Everybody except for Jiro are there, Momotani Jiro. They're talking to Taro, and they're saying that they collectively kind of see Momotani Jiro as a threat, that he's been very violent towards them and threatened them and things like that. And he basically tries to dissuade them and is like, well, I understand that, but I do think he means well. He is a competent warrior. Let's give him another chance, blah, blah, blah. And they say that they want to have, for some reason, I can't remember what leads to it, but they say they want to get into a competition, and they say that because he talks about how nobody can land a hit on him, like don't worry about me, and they're like, well, let's have a competition. If any of us can land a hit on you, you have to tell that person that they're like worthy, basically. And he's like, sure, let's do it. And so they all put together their own little schemes. Kiji brother is at like finds out he's sitting down at the same restaurant as Taro and sees that he's eating like miso noodles or something, and his each of them has like this goofy like hallucination of how they want things to happen, like an imagination type of thing. And his is he goes over while Taro's not like paying attention and steals one noodle because he thinks he can't bring himself to hit Taro. So he takes like one noodle, and Taro's like, oh, you did it, you bested me. And he's like, yes, I did, I took one noodle. He's like, you're the best, yes. And he puts his arm around Kichi brother, and he does the like dumb Momochild, the ha 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 laugh thing. His eyes are like this. Fucking show. So of course he tries in real life, and it doesn't work. And he makes him do like 100 sit-ups or something like that, or like is there sit-ups, or maybe it was like step-ups. Yeah. And so he's doing that. Taro leaves. A little bit after that, we have Taro is doing doing like a delivery or something, getting some stuff ready, and throwing some trash away actually. And we have Sour Brother, who says a haiku and then basically pulls out a gun. You're like, oh my god, is he gonna try to fucking kill him? He doesn't. It's a paintball gun, and he goes to try to pop him, and he shoots it, and he gets blocked by the trash can lid, and he's like, huh? And he does like this, and he throws it like Captain America's shield, fucking frisbee at him. He's like, he threw something at and gets like decked by it. It's like a mark on his head. I'm a sucker for like slapsticky, like, physical comedy, things like that. So it's just the whole episode had me just chuckling up a storm. So that was his thing. Let's see. Oni's sister tries to like make him some cookies basically, and inside of it is going to be a boxing glove. And he's like, oh, in her hallucination, he's like, oh, you made me such a wonderful gift. I used to have so much respect for you, and opens it up and gets punched in the face, right? So he got hit on him. She tries to, and he tells her, wow, I've never been given a gift by a woman before. I'll cherish this. I'm only going to eat a small piece of these cookies every day so I can truly savor it. And she's like, okay. And he opens the thing, or she's about to, and she goes, wait, no. And she's trying to like get in the way of it, whatever. She gets punched. And he makes her, do some more physical activity and exercise of some kind. Did the same thing to Sour Brother. Inner Brother's not part of it for some reason. We had a part with Inner Brother where he meets up with Sononi, who clearly has a thing for him. She like basically puts like one leg up on him and is like in front, is like, you won our last bet. I'll make anything happen for you that you want. And he's like, and he pushes her away, and he's like, you don't have anything I want. And she's like, what do you mean? He's like, all I have eyes for is Natsumi. And she's like, well, I can help you meet her. He's like, well, I don't need your help. I live here, Natsumi is here. So at some point we'll cross paths again. It's just destiny. We're in love. And so yeah, and she's kind of upset by that. And it's kind of interesting seeing some of the brain persons start to like finagle a bit more with emotions and being more human and having like desires and stuff like that, the things they're so against, because she clearly has sort of a burgeoning thing for Inu Brother. So I wonder if that's going to be challenged as we go through the show here. Um, and what's his name? It doesn't show much of is it so there's Sononi, and Sonona, right? Yeah. Doesn't show the one laughing weird dude at all that much. But we do get to see also Don Murasame. It seems to be in like this like deprivation-y like tank thing, and it's spoken to by somebody calling themselves Mother, and it never untransforms. It's just the sword, and it comes out of the sword. So it's flying around as a sword, and it's like zapping up electricity and absorbing energy and stuff. At one point, Taro meets up with uh, Sonoi and talks to him again, and Sonoi says, "Let's settle this." And he's like, "Oh no, I'm not going to do that again. Last time you did, you nearly killed me." And he's like, "Well, let's have like a fair, competition." He says, "What about this? Let's be have a competition of who can help the most people." He's like, just because, the brain persons do respect humanity. Yeah, we go after people with desires, but we do respect humanity and want to somewhat protect it. And I like that thing about them, that they're not the ones responsible for the Hitotsuoki, but they also aren't, like, going to be trying to wipe out humanity either. It seems more of a thing that maybe the beast persons will do if we do much more with them. We've not seen them in quite a few episodes here. But anyway, and just the absolute homoerotic like vibes and sparks between them are just breathtaking. Like, it's clear they have a thing, and they may not do anything with it. I mean, it is Toei and a kid's show and Sentai and whatever, but maybe they will. Who knows? I would like them to be progressive, but who knows? So they have this competition about helping those people. So Sonoi goes with them for the day on a delivery, and this mom opens up the door for her delivery, and he's like, "I need you to sign your stamp." And she's like, "Okay," and so she signs it, and she's looking at Sonoi kind of weird, and he's like, "Oh, don't mind me. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a bother." And then he looks behind her, and there's a kid, like her kid at the table eating lunch, and he like knocks over his juice, and so Sonoi rushes in there and grabs it at the last second so it doesn't break and gives it back to him. She goes, "Oh, thank you so much." He goes, "Don't mention it, blah, 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 it's fine." And afterwards, him and Taro are talking, and he's like, "I think you might have probably scared her at first with how you look." He's like, "Well, actually, if you must know, in the Naoto world, in the brain person's world, I am what they call a fashion leader." Just, and my man does have some drip, but like, it's just, I love this show. So after that, we get a few different times of Momotani Jiro trying to get one over on Taro. He tries to right away at first and fails. He tries to again. They're all working together to try to get Taro, and like his hit gets blocked by Sonoi. And they're like, "Why are you helping?" And he kind of explains what they're doing and blah blah blah. And at one point, they even straight all of them go to what's his name, to Jin or whatever his name is, the dad, and are asking them like, "What should we do? Like, how do we win?" He's like, "Well, there was a time when he was a kid that he had like a pet rhinoceros beetle, and it left. It like buzzed away, flew away and buzzed off, and he never saw it again. So I would say to him the phrase, like lucky or whatever the beetle's name was is back. Taro, blah blah blah, the rhinoceros beetle is back." And so they try it, and of course he's like, "Really?" And he's looking around for it, and they're about to all, go ahead and do the thing and attack him, and they end up stopping, I think, right away, because they all instantly feel bad for taking advantage of the fact that he thinks his beetle is back. And so they feel bad, and they tell him about it, and he's like, blah blah blah, and he understands, and he's upset, but he's like not that mad, but he does respect them trying to figure out some way to win the competition, at least in a certain way. And then and Sonoi's there, and then of course Damarasame attacks. So Damarasame attacks, and it's a fucking cool fight. That suit is beautiful. The violet purple color to it, the ninja motif with it, the way the visor looks, the way that he like strums the freaking sword like a guitar. It's so cool. I love it so much. I really hope that it becomes like an actual person. It's not just this like entity flying around. And Sonoi seems to know more than what he's letting on about it. Because at one point in the fight, he leaves and says, we'll continue our competition another day, Taro. There's something else that's come up," and he leaves. So we don't know what's going on there, really. Poor Inu Brothers just gets pulled into the fight. "Oh, I guess we're fighting him," and starts shooting at him. Started blasting. So they're all fighting Damarasame, kind of kicking their butts at first a little bit. And Momotani Jiro comes into it as well. And they all transform and they fight, and he actually helps out quite a bit. They all really do, honestly, a pretty good job. Murasame pulls out a couple different tricks, though. He has this one attack where he literally dives into the concrete and is moving around like it's water, and then attacks like a real shark. It's kind of cool. Then he also shows he has an alter form, just like Momotani Jiro and Momoi Taro have. So I think it's very interesting that he also has an alter form. My theory right now is that the Don Murasame suit and powers or whatever were cursed maybe at one point, because it seems to be that there's this Don family, right? There's Don Momotaro, Don Dorogoku. So I wonder if the power sets are all from like one royal family, if you will. This power set from Murasame was taken or was corrupted at some point, and we're finally going to get that backstory at some point, and maybe it will be connected to Sonoi. I don't know. I would like Sonoi to be the user of the Don Murasame powers, if you will, just because he's purple, it's purple, whatever. I'd also be okay if it was female. I don't know. I just really like the suit, and I want to see a lot more of it. And according to Toei's website, it can avatar change into other past Violet heroes. So I think that's really cool too. But it has its own little alter form, the little small toy little form thing, and it fights Don Dorogoku alter and Don Momotaro alter. And they eventually push it back. It runs out of energy and it leaves. And do they fight another Hitotsuoki or do we not? I think we might not fight a Hitotsuoki this time. If we did, I forget, but I'm pretty sure we don't have one this time because there was no Hitotsuoki person of the week or whatever. So they end the episode and he ends up telling them, yeah, you guys didn't win the competition, but blah, 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 it's fine. And, you're still learning and it trained you, it gave you this training and whatever. So kind of like that thing, that whole, shtick we've seen before in other things where like, the character thinks whatever training or menial tasks they're doing is meaningless, kind of like Karate Kid, when in reality it's teaching them some other kind of skill or something like that, or making them stronger, or increasing their endurance, what have you. But overall, this was probably one of the most entertaining and absolutely hilarious episodes of the show. I really honestly had to stop the episode a few times, just like pissing myself with laughter. It was a really good one. I really liked it. I love Don Murasame. I like the introduction of it as a threat, as a villain. I like that it has a very similar power set to what the Don brothers use. I hope that it will eventually have like a full-on host. It kind of gives me a little bit of Rio Soldier Gaisorg vibes, where maybe it's some kind of a possessive armor type thing, or it's, like I said, a power set that comes from this Don family thing that they talked about that Momotaro is part of, and we'll get something where we get backstory to it that it wasn't always evil, and that whatever user it had died, and then that death cursed the armor or something. I don't know. And what this connection to why it has a voice and why it keeps talking to somebody called Mother. I don't know what's going on there. Also, be some bigger reveal later that there's like a mother of the Don family still alive, and maybe she's the one pulling the strings in the background. I don't know. But overall, this is a really good episode. We do get a funny scene near the end where Taro's walking around, tries to help this old lady, and she doesn't want him to. And he's like, no, it's fine. Why would you not want me to? And he gets her purse and he's trying to walk with her and help her. And she like bonks him on the back of the head with her cane. He goes, "You gotta hit him." And it was strong. And he like falls over unconscious. So yeah, I really like this. And I think that it's funny that we are verging on almost 20 episodes in, which means not that far from halfway into the series. And nobody on the team, not a single solitary member, including Kaito Black, knows who Ino Brother is. If they keep up this gag until the end, until the final episode, I'm going to lose my mind. I also have a theory that if things don't work out with him and Natsumi, that maybe he will eventually fall for Sonona, whatever her name is, the girl brain person. I wonder if that might be a possibility, if like Natsumi really like can't recall her memories of being Natsumi and she really wants to stay as Miho and be with Kiji brother. I wonder if so he's not alone or unhappy, if he like eventually forges a friendship / relationship with Sononi. I wonder if that might happen. But I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a one-sided thing where she has a thing for him because her like focused on thing as a brain person is like emotions and romance. But let me know in the comments below what you guys think. It was a straight absolute banger, 10 out of 10 again for me. I loved this episode this week. DonBrothers is just hitting it out of the park every week. But let me know in the comments, what did you guys think of the episode? Favorite moments, your favorite fight in it, your favorite gag with the DonBrothers and their attempts to try and get over on Taro. Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear you guys' comments and everything. On the channel, I did just review episode 42 of Revice. Put that up. Let me know what you guys think about that one. Watch that one, share it, like it, all that good stuff, if you can. I also put up my review of the Digivice V Vital Bracelet recently, so check that out if you guys are interested in some recommendations on where to get it, or kind of the ins and outs of how it works and stuff like that, my full, thoughts and review score and all of that. Pretty soon I did just get my uh what's it called, Giffard Rex Vi-stamp. So probably not today, but probably tomorrow if I have time. I'm gonna try to record a Tokuto review on that, show you guys the sounds it makes on its own, each piece, and then what it does, stack together, and then clearly throw it into the driver and show off the sounds for that and what I think of it overall. Spoilers, I love it, so I mean it's probably gonna get a pretty good score. But yeah, really excited about that. But yeah, like I said, thank you guys so much for watching, sharing, liking, commenting. We're at about 290 subscribers, which is crazy. I never thought ever in my life I'd have even 100 people following me, even 50, and now I have almost 300, and I think that's awesome. But thank you so much for the love and support and watching. I really do appreciate you guys. It really does me a lot of good to be able to get on here and just spill my guts and empty my brain of all my crazy toku thoughts. And I don't have to continuously bother my wife with it, or my parents who don't understand it, or the random people at work that are just like, you're weird when I talk about it, basically. So I really do appreciate all you guys out there that watch the videos. Thank you guys so much. But until next time, stay hooked on Henshins. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye. Dun, 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 ba, da, da.